Let's move on to fantasy for Sonoma.
Alrighty.
Oh God, it's been, I used to really look forward to this segment, and the last couple of weeks have really kicked my butt. I've
Only
lost, I think,
last
four.
couple?
I think the last four I've lost in a row.
I think it's been like a month.
Yeah, it's
It's
been a
not been
rough
too
go for
pretty.
me. And I've been getting the race winner picks correct, but that comes with its advantage of going first, obviously, by losing the previous week. So I would much rather be in Kyle's situation than my own. But once again, after a poor result from Ryan Blaney and Martin Truex Jr. in the Coca-Cola 600, which I burned a Martin Truex usage because I thought he maybe would turn it on in the fourth stage. But in reality, it got even worse because he was sitting on pit road for about 8 or so laps trying to get the damn left front tire off the car. So unfortunate, I burned a Truex usage there, a valuable one down the stretch here, and we'll see if that comes to bite me in the butt sooner
Yeah.
or later, whatever happens.
Not to rub it in, but I've won 5 straight. The last one you won was at Talladega, and my streak would be even longer if Chris Buescher hadn't got wrecked by Ryan Preece there. So I've been riding a hot streak. I'm waiting for the bad luck to come back around. I'm just hoping I can ride this wave a little bit longer, but I know it's inevitable.
It's 9-6 overall for yourself. So it's going to take quite a bit of consistency from me here to try and regain this in time for the end of the regular season. And I'm not too far off overall. It's just been, you've just edged me out here or there, and I've just had some bad luck. But
45 or 50 points now in the overall, like not much in it. So
no, but definitely not my year compared to last year's results. But we'll see if I can turn the chip around here, or if Kyle continues his streak this time around at Sonoma, West Coast. Hopefully that can come to my advantage here on Sunday. But for my first selection for Sonoma Fantasy,
because you go first this time.
Yes, I do. And I'm not going to beat around the bush with this one. I didn't use him at the Coca-Cola 600. Stupidly, you did use him. He won you fantasy, basically. Chase Elliott is in my lineup this week. 6 usages left on the number 9 car. Very, very good. He's got track position. He's starting second in this one. An average finish over the last 4 races at Sonoma of 17.5. So his worst road course, I would say, on the calendar, numbers-wise. But he has been progressively improving there. And last year, I believe he had a bit of a misfortunate error that kind of took him out of contention there. But overall, his body of work at road courses is unlike anybody else's in the Cup Series. Not even Martin Truex Jr. can rival him on road courses now. He's got 2 top 10s in those 4 starts in the Cup Series. He only has 4 starts here since we had that one off year, of course, last season. Only 3 laps led, so it's not been too much time where we've seen the 9 or the 24 then when he first got into the series at the top of the scoring pylon. But for Chase Elliott, it's a no-brainer for me this week. I've got the usages, and I've been saving him for the road courses this entire season. I like the track position. He probably will end up losing out on stage points at the end of the day to go for the victory. That's what we've seen in Sonoma in the past, but I'm willing to take that chance and go for the overall race victory. I like the track position and all the aspects involved. Chase Elliott is in my lineup in my number 1 pick for Sonoma.
Yeah, it just makes too much sense. And even when you look back to that last one that brings down the average finish by a mile, the 37th finish, had a transmission issue, engine issue on lap 60 there, and went from being up in the top 5 all day, leading 3 laps, to finishing at the back. So for Chase Elliott here, absolutely a play. And I think it's very real scenario that he can go out and get his first win here at Sonoma this weekend. Everyone looks to Martin Truex Jr., back-to-back winner here, but Chase Elliott, he's the most recent road course winner. He has something to prove here at Sonoma because he hasn't won here yet, looking to get over that hump. And damn good opportunity to do so with a really strong starting position as well, of course, up in the top 5, as is basically all of Hendrick Motorsports. Number 2 pick for myself, and keeping it nice and simple as always on the road courses to start, Martin Truex Jr. Worked out for me not playing him at the Coke 600. I took a bit of a gamble there. The trend they'd been on on the 550 horsepower package tracks ended up working out for me. But on the road courses, it's been a bit up and down for Truex recently. You look at the bad luck at Coda, you look at some of the issues he had earlier in the year at the Daytona road course, but it's Sonoma, and it's the place that has been his best road course when you look at Chase Elliott and how he's been kind of good overall. Truex has been borderline dominant at Sonoma, and especially recently. You look at back-to-back wins, and in those leading 59 of 90 laps last time, 62 of 110 the time before that. And even before that, when he had a transmission issue and had an engine go down and similarly finished 37th, kind of like what Chase Elliott did, he led 25 laps. So he's led laps in each of the three last Sonoma races. I don't go too much farther back than that, just because you're getting back to like 5 years ago at that point and kind of irrelevant at that point, but has led a lot of laps at Sonoma, has won back-to-back races. Even though the road course form or luck hasn't been there as much recently for Truex, I still think that this is going to be kind of the Truex versus Elliott kind of battle that we've been waiting for a little bit here.
I'm undecided on Martin Truex Jr.
Okay.
Because of the usage I burned last week. If I didn't, I'd be 100% in on him. But when I look at the schedule coming up, I'm like, okay, I need a power horse for those tracks. And Martin Truex Jr. is that. New Hampshire, Michigan, Watkins Glen, of course, I'm going to be playing him there. I think Nashville could be an underrated play.
I really didn't think you were going to play him at Watkins Glen.
You're welcome. Just giving all the bones that I can out to my competition. But I think Pocono could be another one as well. Truex is so well-rounded on the remaining calendar for the remaining parts of the summer. Atlanta had a struggle there in the spring race. I don't know if I'm going to play him there or not, because the 550 has been a bit up in the air for him. But when I look at it, I'm not 100% certain I'm going to use Martin Truex Jr. as of yet. I'll see what you kind of do for the remainder of your lineup, but that's basically what it comes down to. But for my second pick here, I'm going to the JGR stable, and it's his teammate, Kyle Busch. He's got an average finish over the last 5 races of 5th, 1 win, 5 top 10s, and 25 laps led. He starts 5th on Sunday. I really like the role the 18 car has been on. He ran exceptionally well at COTA. Was running very well at the Daytona road course up until everything kind of hit the fan. Of course, he had that lap 1 incident that kind of set him back, but then he worked his way up inside the top 5. So I believe that the road course program is there for JGR, specifically Kyle Busch, because I think Martin Truex Jr. hasn't quite hit his stride yet in that area. And of course, Sonoma could be the place where he does hit that stride. But for Kyle Busch, I feel very confident in his capabilities this weekend. He's on quite the roll, finished 3rd in the Coke 600. He's starting to gain a bit of his old version of himself, which is really nice to see. Coming from a Kyle Busch fan, it's been nice. It's been nice to just relax a little bit more and not have to worry about him being back in the mid-teens. He's instead running inside the top 5 on most occasions the past month and a half or so. So that's been very refreshing. And I've just liked the 18 car. He's had a previous success here, of course, won in 2015. Hopefully that kind of left foot issue that he was experiencing at COTA doesn't flare up once again this weekend for Sonoma. But then again, he did kind of have that same situation when he did win here in 2015. So I'll go with Kyle Busch as my second pick. For my third selection, I'm going to the SHR camp, and it is Kevin Harvick. This is his best road course on the calendar by a mile, and it's not even close. You wouldn't look at Kevin Harvick and say he's a road ringer per se whatsoever. He's actually quite poor on the road courses if you look at it overall in his career. But over the last 5 races here at Sonoma, he's got an average finish of 3.8, 1 victory, 5 top 5s, 59 laps led, and he starts 8th. Like the track position, like the previous success, this season on the road courses hasn't quite been ideal for him, but I'm going to take previous success here, veteran experience at Sonoma, and I'll say that pays a little bit of dividends here at the end of the day. I have the usage kind of situation with Harvick where I feel comfortable, where I can use him this weekend. Unlike last year where I felt like I could never use him on a road course, the performance of the 4 car hasn't quite been up to par so far on the other kinds of tracks, so I feel confident in using Kevin Harvick as my third selection here.
All right, so quite the lineup so far. A lot of heavy hitters to this point. I'm going to match you on Kyle Busch, though. I feel pretty solid about his upcoming weekend right now. You've got some positive momentum. He looked really good at Circuit of the Americas. And this is a road course, as you mentioned, that he's been really, really strong at. 4 straight top tens as well here recently, getting 30 plus points, which is a big thing here. Because with Sonoma, there is the potential for some different strategy calls with the stage ends and kind of keeping that in mind when making some decisions, because some people don't care about stage points. They care about being in position for the win at the end. Will toss away all those stage points and could leave you, even if they get a really solid top 10 with only like 29, 30, 31 points instead of a huge haul that you could potentially get. So kind of valuing a bunch of different stuff, but Kyle Busch has just been too consistent at this track, has that race winning ability, has been in good form. Everything just kind of is going the direction for Kyle Busch. So I'm absolutely going to match you on that one. Kevin Harvick, I'm undecided / not going to go that route. Just a little hesitant just with SHR on road courses, Kevin Harvick on road courses. I know he's been good at Sonoma, but I feel like it can maybe go somewhere else and get some other value as well, because that is, of course, a team that is looking to get a win as well. So I could see them punting on some stage points and going for the win at the end and see how things go. Of course, it all depends on how cautions fall as well, because we saw at Circuit of the Americas, for example, Austin Cindric was going to pit before some stage breaks, cautions fall, they end up getting the stage points. So there's a lot of different things that can mess up the kind of galaxy brain type strategy of going for stage points as well. So with that, I've got 3 picks in the bag, and my number 4, I'm going back to the Hendrick stable for this one, and I'm going to go with William Byron. He's been super, super consistent all season long. I've been waiting for that breakout performance at a road course, and I really, really feel like we might be getting that this weekend. He's been very strong in terms of single lap speed at Sonoma in the past in his young career, going up and starting on the first row. But when I look at William Byron here, the last time we were here, let me just double check here. Yeah, so he finished outside the top 10, but with stage points that he got, still finished with 36 points, which was good enough to actually put him inside of an optimal fantasy lineup with the 5th most points. And that was without even a top 10 finish. So given the consistency, given the starting position, given how he's progressed as a driver this season, I think we might see some of those road course flaws maybe fixed a little bit, because even at Circuit of the Americas, he would have been in line for a top 10 if it wasn't for some of the damage he got there, and still even almost got up into the top 10, still just barely missed out on continuing his streak there. So for William Byron, it's a bit of a riskier play because of how kind of boom or bust road courses have been for him. But I feel like this could really be a boom weekend. And looking at the rest of the season, I know there's some valuable usages coming up for him just with how consistent he's been across a bunch of tracks. But I feel like this weekend could potentially be one where you get kind of the high end value at William Byron this weekend. So he is in my lineup.
What's your usage situation with Byron?
Willie B, I've got 4 left.
Damn, I'm in the same boat, and I just feel like it's too risky for myself this week to use him. I don't know.
I feel very good about Byron is what I'll say.
Okay. I don't have Byron in my lineup this week. Just for my usage situation, I didn't feel like 4 usages is going to be.
I really debated it as well, but at the end of the day, I think he's going to have a really, really strong day, top 5, if not challenging, and leading laps as well. So I'm gonna go risky with it, because they have the win, so they could punt on stages as well and go for the win at the end, the full 5 playoff points there. But I like the consistency. I'm taking the risk on my guy here.
All right. For my 4 selection here, I'm going with Joey Logano. Has been very, very good on the road courses so far to start this season. Over the past 5 races here at Sonoma, he's got an average finish of 12.4, 2 top 10s. He starts 13th, so a little bit outside that top 10. I'm hopeful that there's a bit of wiggle room that he can get inside that top 10. I don't know what he's going to do with stage points. He's usually a guy that kind of goes for them or doesn't. It's no in between for him. So hopefully this is the week he kind of goes for stage points, and then maybe can sacrifice a little bit on the finish for Logano. Because at the end of the day, a guy like Logano is not going to win this race. So you have to kind of get what you can get with the stage points, maybe get a stage win if you pull the right strategy. Just get you a couple of playoff points if the strategy works for yourself. I'm hopeful that Logano and I guess it's Paul Wolf can kind of pull off that strategy for him this weekend. But finishing inside the top 5 on both pro courses so far to start this season gives me a little bit of confidence that the 22 car on the 750 package has a bit of momentum. They feel comfortable in this, unlike this 550 where they've really struggled. So I'm looking for Joey Logano to have a big day, and hopefully he can, I have 7 usages left on him, so I can definitely start to burn some Logano ones. Even if he has a bit of an off day, I'm still going to burn one, because there's no point in them just sitting in my lineup and not doing anything. So let's just put him in there and see what happens for Mr. Logano this weekend. My 5th selection for the Sonoma race. This is a tough one, but I'm going with I'm going with a bit of a value usage here this weekend, and I feel like this is going to be a solid one. I'm hopeful that it is, because he seems like he's on quite a bit of momentum here. It's Chris Buescher.
Screw you.
I'm putting him in my lineup this weekend. Average finish over the last 3 races, 15.67 here at Sonoma. He starts 12th, but has been very, very consistent so far to start this season. I like this guy, underrated road racer. I think he could do some damage this weekend, and judging by your reaction, I'm guessing you may not have him in there. I don't know, but I would have reacted the same way when you put William Byron in your lineup. And I know which one I feel more scared about, William Byron compared to Chris Buescher. But for myself, Chris Buescher seems like a nice, solid usage for me. I don't think I've used him at all so far at the start of the season. So I think there's some good value for Mr. Buescher.
I just wanted him. I wanted him to be my guy, to have a great day and be the reason why I won. Because I've also got Chris Buescher in the lineup.
You suck.
I really think we're going to see a good day from Chris Buescher. Sonoma's been a really solid road course for him. He's been solid on road courses in general. But the big thing for me is the position that they're in points. They need to maximize points every single week. They won't necessarily go out and try to get the win, I think, in terms of throwing away stage points and trying to be there at the end. I think that there'll be a team that takes advantage of people that do that strategy, get some big stage points. And we've seen it the last couple of times at Sonoma as well. 29 points in 2018, 26 points in 2019. He's a solid road course driver. We've seen Roush be better this season. They're in a playoff fight. They're one of the drivers on the cut line. So I think we're going to see a really solid stage point day from Chris Buescher. And I think we can see a top 15 for sure, if not even a top 10. So Chris Buescher, I was hoping I'd have him as kind of a garage guy that I can toss in after some good stage points and feel good about. But apparently you read my mind on that one and you already tossed them in. But Chris Buescher, not too often we both have him in the lineup, but I feel really good about him this weekend.
Can't believe you took him.
I can't believe you took him. I wanted him to myself, but and a good starting position there in 12th as well for Buescher off the start. So I just really like the guy. I love the season he's had. I think he's a great driver, and I think Sonoma is going to be another big day for him. And there's been a couple of guys that you could potentially go for, looking at kind of the stage point route and all that kind of stuff. But with that, we're up to my last pick. And there's a couple different routes I can go with this one, but I think I'm going to stick to my guns and go a little bit heavy on Hendrick Motorsports here and go with a bit of a conservative pick, not like a big boom guy, but a guy that I feel good about getting me solid points here. And that's Alex Bowman. He's been solid.
You are terrible.
He's been solid here at Sonoma in terms of a top 10 finish in his first time here in 2018, getting 32 points, getting some stage points in 2019 as well, and getting 27 points. Good starting position. Hendrick's been on a roll, of course. Do I think that he's going to be up there for a top 5 contending for the win? Probably not. That's going to be a really, really good day for Bowman, but I feel like they're going to be consistently in the conversation of the top 10. I think they'll get a solid 8th to 11th finish and potentially some stage points as well. So Alex Bowman rounds out my lineup for Sonoma.
Oh, God. I wanted him bad. Oh, my God. I saved him to the end, hopeful that you wouldn't have him.
I can't. This is kind of funny how this is played out, with me freaking out over Chris Buescher and you freaking out over Alex Bowman. This is kind of funny how this is played out.
I don't like this because now you have the absolute advantage over me if I take Bowman. You've got Truex and Byron to Harvick and Logano, which I know who I favor in that situation. That really is frustrating. Damn it. Oh, no. I don't want to burn a Truex usage this weekend. Yeah,
so
I'm going to go with
what were you originally going to do?
Bowman. Yeah.
Sticking with him?
I'm going to stick with him.
Okay.
I'm going to save Truex, man. Even if that costs me a win here, hopefully it can gain me something down the line. I just don't like it. I just don't like his starting position. I don't like his starting position. So you have 6 usages left with Truex?
Oh, I don't think so. Oh no, I'm at 5. Yep. So
okay,
I'd used an extra one at one point.
I'm gonna save him, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go with Bowman. Average finish with the last 2 times he's been here. 11.5, 1 top 10, starts 7th, decent track position. Hendrick's been really good on the road courses. Larson's been absolutely fantastic all over the place, but Bowman's been pretty decent as well. So I think he could be a sneaky addition here. I'm going to just go with the original lineup that I had. I can't quite.
How about this? Both of us sticking to our guns here for this one. Not too often.
I don't have the balls to put Truex in my lineup. I don't. I know I'm in a position where I feel like I should go aggressive, but I don't want that to come and bite me in the butt and make me overuse him. And then I regret it later down the line when there was more value to him, because I think the stage points here could definitely sway Truex. And I don't like him starting 19th. I think that's going to be a lot for him to try and gain early on. Sonoma is a difficult-ish track to kind of gain a track position and pass cars on, but I'm sure by the end of it, Truex will be back in the top 5 for sure, maybe even by the end of stage 1, who knows. But I just have a bit of reservations. I don't think they're on quite the roll at the moment where I feel like I'm comfortable with Truex. So I like Bowman finishing the top 5 of the Coke 600. I think he's a decent road racer. We'll see if he can get it done here at his semi-home track, close to, of course, Arizona, where he grew up. So yeah, I'll take that as my 6. Let's go to the honorable mentions and your stay away from for this week. Honorable mention, obviously, Martin Truex Jr. You can't stress that enough, but, can you
make him a stay away from?
No, and I have William Byron as an honorable mention as well. So there you go. Denny Hamlin as well has very good numbers here at Sonoma. I just don't know what to think of the 11 car right now. Like, how is he not won a race, but at the same time, he's not leading laps. So I'm just not quite. I'm in a middle situation here with Denny Hamlin. I think he's going to be more valuable a little bit later on when they start to pick it up a little bit back up again. He's kind of fallen off a little bit of that consistency, but he could definitely be of usage. I've got 4 usages left on Hamlin, so I think I'm going to stay put on him for right now. Yep. Eric Jones has very good numbers here at Sonoma. Could be one of those like Chris Buescher kind of usages here for yourself. You're not going to worry about obviously 10 usages on him, but Eric Jones has been Eric Jones has been surprising on some occasions so far to start this season for Richard Petty Motorsports. So I think he could do something similar here again. Let me just check where he's starting in this one. Eric Jones
should be middle to 18th. The back end. Yeah. So middle 18th.
So right ahead of Truex. So if he kind of leads Truex through the field, you never know. Maybe Eric Jones could do something here on Sunday. Kyle Larson. I know I could probably put him in stay away from, but he's so good right now. Like, the guy is on an absolute tear.
Here's what I'll say on Kyle Larson. Before he kind of blew up the season and just started either leading everything or winning everything, I originally planned to use him at Sonoma. I think just given what we've seen from him at Chip Ganassi, winning poles here, starting right at the front and then having issues over races, saw a little bit of that come at Daytona Road Course where he was up in the top 5. And had he not wheel hopped and gone into the tie barrier, might have won that race because he was on the same tire strategy as Christopher Bell and was ahead of him at that point as well. You look at Coda, finished second there behind Mr. Chase Elliott. I think that we could see another big day from Kyle Larson here.
He's your pole sitter, so he's got track position. Yeah. The field is in his rearview mirror, so he just has to keep him behind him. And I think Larson could definitely be an upset kind of guy if you can quantify him that. But on the road courses,
he hasn't count as an upset winner.
But I mean, at the road courses, he's been, hasn't quite got the finish, but we've always seen from him that single lap speed in qualifying for Chip Ganassi. And now we're starting to see with a better race car that he can actually put it together over longer periods of time throughout a road course race. So encouraging. Yeah. I'm just in no position where I feel like I can use a Kyle Larson
usage usage left here. On the guy. So there's no chance I'm using him here.
So there's too many strong tracks for Larson coming up still for him. Michigan is definitely one later on in the season. But for anybody that
exactly has the two where I'm using them. So
but anybody who has 4 usages left on Kyle Larson, A, what are you doing? And B,
props for like the self-control to not to use the guy to hell. Holy.
B, play him this weekend because he could be someone that stirs it up and maybe even wins this race if all things go his way. But he's an honorable mention for sure. Matt DiBenedetto has some sneaky good numbers here as well. It's just that was with the Toyota camp and not with the Ford camp. And that's why I'm a bit hesitant to put him in my lineup, because Wood Brothers isn't a good road racing kind of organization. They've never been. A while. They're really poor, to be honest. And, for that Penske Alliance, it doesn't do them very good. And DiBenedetto has always been kind of a sneaky road racer in the Xfinity Series as well in the Cup Series when he was with the Toyota camp. But since he's gone to Ford here with Wood Brothers, it has not been too friendly to him. But
had a top 5 run last time we were here at Sonoma. So you would think that would lend towards them being good this weekend. But I need to see it before I buy into DiBenedetto with the 21 car at a road course. Because for a long time, we've kind of expected it to come because we saw him kind of go toe to toe with like Christopher Bell and all those kind of guys in that kind of one-off race he did for JGR in the Xfinity Series at what was it, Road America or someplace that he went there. We saw him. He probably should have won that race if it wasn't for some pit strategy. And then, of course, went off on the last corner when he should have finished second. And then earlier that year had finished up there in the top 5 at Sonoma. And just since then, he just hasn't been really in the conversation at all. So maybe it turns around at Sonoma, but I wouldn't be betting on it.
Nope. And then the last one, Ryan Blaney, finished inside the top 5 here last time around.
I originally had him in the lineup.
He's a sneaky one. I'm just going to wait on Blainey a little bit right now. He hasn't quite had his road course form after he won the Roval. Everybody was super high on him, rightfully so. He's had some decent finishes on road courses since then, but hasn't quite had the consistency. So just give me one more solid finish, Blainey, and maybe I'll look at you for Indianapolis or the Watkins Glen race later on this summer. But he could definitely be of usage for you this weekend. For the stay away froms, there's 4 of them here. But they're kind of a little bit all over the place in terms of how you want to look at your usage situation for them at this point so far through this season. Austin Dillon, never a good road racer, really. So I think that's definitely a stay away from.
Top 15 yet?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I don't think he has.
He's been pretty poor on the road courses, despite his consistency so far this season for Richard Childress Racing. I think you got to stay away from Austin Dillon this weekend.
Oh, he did get it at Coda. He finished 12th there, so he finally got that first career top 15 on a road course.
Would have been nice if the broadcast actually mentioned that. It's a huge accomplishment for Mr. Dillon. But for the next one, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. We don't look past 10th. But Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finished well in the Coke 600 there, ran well, has run well pretty consistently recently, but he's not a road racer by any stretch of the imagination. So definitely stay away from him this weekend. And then 2 of the veterans, Brad Keselowski and Kurt Busch. For Kurt Busch, it's just because they haven't had the finishes. He just hasn't had the luck so far to start this season. If he did, absolutely he'd be in my honorable mentions, but until I see him perform, I can't put him in that category. And Brad Keselowski, this is probably his worst road course on the calendar. It just doesn't quite suit him for whatever reason. Hasn't quite found the speed, doesn't get the consistent finishes like his Penske teammates seem to get. And with the rumors of him going to Roush, I don't know if the foundations are there for Brad to really propel him to have a long season here of success with Penske. So I'm going to stay away from him this weekend as well. So those are the stay away from, the honorable mentions, and our lineups. Let's move to the bonus picks. Maybe a make or break situation for our lineups this weekend. For myself, definitely. But who leads us off for this one? Is it it me? Okay. Yeah. Top Chevrolet. You could go a lot of different ways with this one, but I'm going to take the easy choice, Chase Elliott. I can't quite go with Larson for this one as much as I would like to with him out of my lineup. I'm going to take full usage out of Chase Elliott if he has a solid day, which I imagine he will. He's definitely the top Chevrolet finisher, I'm sure, for a lot of people this weekend.
Yeah, top Chevy has got to be Chase Elliott, right? It's got to be. Like, the guy is just too good on road courses to try and bet against him for a cheeky 5 points over somebody else, because everybody else is picking him. And hey, if you're right on it and he doesn't, then good on you. But come on, it's like a 5%, 10% chance that he's not the top Chevy, right? Like, we're talking about like
something has to
that
go wrong,
extreme
really.
At this point. It really does feel that way. So yeah, I had agreed on that one. The Fords, though, I feel like are probably the most interesting one, at least for myself, just because there isn't kind of that true number one that you look to on the road course. For Chevys, you look at Chase Elliott. For Toyota, you could go multiple different directions, but the first guy that comes to mind is Martin Truex Jr. For Ford. It's not like that number one guy who's usually above the rest and kind of goes a few different directions. So for this one, I originally had him in the lineup before changing it up and going a little bit more conservative, putting Chris Buescher in, hoping for some stage points, stuff like that. And then you went ahead and put him in your lineup as well. But I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney for this one. A couple really solid results in his career so far at Sonoma. It's kind of been good year, bad year, good year, bad year at Sonoma, which means that it would then be a bad year, but we missed last year, which I'm going to count as a bad year. So maybe it's a good year again. But Ryan Blaney, I'm going to toss in as my top Ford here.
Okay. Harvick or Logano? It's been really weird with Logano and me with this top.
I think you should take Anthony Alfredo.
He's pretty good on that iRacing stuff, but I'm gonna go with Kevin Harvick. I'm gonna go with him as the top Ford. I feel decent about Harvick this weekend. And I don't really have any reason not to be solid with him just based off of previous success here at Sonoma. Like, it is absolutely insane to think how much better he is at this track compared to others, which is very awkward for at least for myself. But I think Harvick could be definitely the top Ford, because we look at the Coke 600 last week. The top Ford was none other than Chris Buescher. You never know who could get this top Ford finisher, because it's either Penske, Harvick, or the rest of the field. You can just kind of play pick them at that point. But that's my top Ford. Don't discredit
Daytona 500 champion Michael McDowell like that.
For road course specialist, this isn't quite his track.
Yeah, Sonoma, he's had some bad luck, but yeah.
No, but for top Toyota, this is really, really tough, because
where are you going for this one?
I would love to go with Kyle Busch, but without him in my lineup, I have to kind of save myself with this.
You don't have to.
I'm going to, though. I'm going to take Martin Truex Jr. for the top Toyota, just to cover my bases, just because I don't have him in my lineup. I would love to go with Kyle Busch. I honestly do think Kyle Busch will be the top Toyota finisher, but I'm going to go with Martin Truex Jr. just in case that he does end up working his way through the field and finds that road course success that we've seen from him in years past years. So safe rather than sorry.
Truex, it's the guy, right? Like, again, it's not as heavily in the favor of Chase Elliott, especially with some of the issues that Truex has had recently in terms of bad luck or just driver error as well when you look at the Daytona road course. Yep. But it's Sonoma. He's won back-to-back races. You're overthinking it a little bit if you go against him, right? Right. So, yeah, I'm going Truex as well. But I think these two are really fascinating, and they're probably, I don't know if it'll decide who wins, but it might decide the margin of who wins, because manufacturer and organization are a very, very interesting one here for me. Because I don't think that it's as clear cut of a Chase Elliott win as kind of most road courses are, just because, of course, he hasn't done it yet. And you look at new road courses, you favor him just because of the raw talent. At road courses we've been to multiple times and he's won, obviously you would favor him. But when you look at other drivers having the experience at this track, no practice or qualifying, just going into it cold, you can see how things might go against Chase Elliott's favor. So I think that this could really be one of those races where you kind of split the strategy, maybe go one manufacturer, different organization, or vice versa, whatever. So I will lead it off with Chevrolet here, just because looking over the entire field, I feel like there's more Chevrolets that could be a surprise winner than Toyotas, just with the Ford JGR and then Bubba Wallace, who wasn't a factor on road courses. Chevrolet, if something crazy were to happen with strategy, Kurt Busch could back his way into a win, sure. Maybe even like a Ross Chastain. We saw him be great at COTA, even though weather I don't believe is supposed to be a concern. I haven't looked at the forecast at all, but it's Southern California.
That would be nuts if Sonoma's raining.
So I doubt it will be. But I'll start it off with Chevrolet as my top manufacturer here.
Yeah, that's what I got. It was pretty straightforward for me for this one, to be honest. I felt, Chevy
organization is usually the one where you can go multiple different areas, but Chevy, yeah.
I Toyota just doesn't have the number of drivers that I think could win. That's what's just Chevrolet. That's what it comes down to, specifically Hendrick Motorsports. I think all three of them could definitely have a shot with Byron, Larson, and Elliott. Bowman, I'm not 100% sure on, even though he's in my lineup. I don't quite think he's going to be winning,
not
but
race winning potential, I don't think. Yeah.
But for me, easy for winning manufacturer. Winning organization. I'm doing the split strategy this weekend because I do think this is a little bit more up in the air. I'm going with Joe Gibbs Racing for this one. Okay. I do like Truex quite a bit, and I like Kyle Busch quite a bit this weekend. And despite Hendrick, I think, having more options with the 3 compared to the 2, because I don't see Bell and Hamlin quite winning this one, I'm still going to go with the high end of JGR to make sure that I don't, mess up all my bonus picks, and I have a little bit left in the tank. So JGR is the winning organization for me.
As much as I think that that's a great play, I'm not doing it. I'm going Hendrick as the winning organization here.
Oh, you suck.
Look, you laid it out perfectly there. It's 3-2. When I look at the two organizations, I think there's 3 legit winning candidates for Hendrick Motorsports to the 2 from Joe Gibbs Racing. And I really think that it's a great play on your part to cover the bases. But I'm going risky. Of course you do. I'm going risky with it. I'm taking Hendrick here.
I don't blame you. I would if I were you. Shoot, you've got 3 weeks on me, so why not? Let's go bold. And it's going to probably pay off because I'm too much of a scaredy cat. It's just driving me nuts. I have to get, I feel like I'm in a position where I have to guess the race winner correct in order for me to win this week. Like, that's my only shot. Are you going to galaxy
brain it now, or?
This is my problem. I'm going to get in my own head here, and you have first pick for Xfinity, but then I hopefully take as long as you can with that so that I can, have as long as much, have a lot of time to think about my Cup Series pick. So go ahead.
So, of course, Xfinity is not with the Cup Series this weekend.
First time and only time.
Yep. So with that, they're still at a road course just over in Ohio at Mid-Ohio. And I think that there's probably 3, maybe you can stretch it to 4 winner contenders here. When you look at the usual Austin Cindric, when you look at AJ Allmendinger, when you look at Ty Gibbs, who's won earlier this year on a road course, and Justin Allgaier, I think I'll put in that mix as a former winner as well. But for myself, I'm going with this guy because of one thing and one thing only. And that's the quote from last week. When AJ Allmendinger went out of the race, went down and interviewed him in the garage, and he said he's going to kick everybody's ass at Mid-Ohio, and I'm believing the guy. So I'm going AJ Allmendinger as your Xfinity winner pick.
Oh, my God.
You have to at least love that reasoning, right?
What do you think my reasoning was?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
No way. That's too funny. I literally, before we recorded the show, I said, you can have Ty Gibbs and you can have Austin Cindric. So I assumed he would have taken one of those 2 options. No way. Oh, I feel kind of bad now.
I do a lot of prep work for this show. And the fact that I had that and I don't even get to use it as my own is very disappointing. But you know what? I'm going to go with my backup option. It's not Cindric or Gibbs. I'm going to go with Justin Allgaier.
Okay.
He's won here before, and that's basically my only reasoning behind it. So I don't need to get into it any more than that. Fair so that's enough. Disappointing. But yeah, I do think AJ Allmendinger is going to be a force to be reckoned with this weekend. So looking forward to seeing that battle out front.
Oh, but, man, that was good.
Absolutely hilarious. God, drive me nuts.
Cup Series, 15 points on the line.
See, I don't like this position because if I take one of these guys, I'm looking at Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, or Martin Truex Jr. I'll just make that clear. I think those three could definitely are the three favorites for me. Then you look at your kind of secondary tier with Byron and Larson, I would say kind of in that next group. But these three are the absolute favorites coming into this weekend. The thing is, I don't like taking first tier because then it leaves you with two options that, I would be absolutely happy with if I took one of these guys and I had two of these remaining. But I think it'd be stupid for me to not take Chase Elliott. It just seems like a no-brainer for me. I don't like leaving you Martin Truex Jr., but Chase Elliott has not won at Sonoma. He's kind of due for it. I think he could definitely go on a run here. He finished second last week at the Coke 600, won the previous week at COTA, has been on quite the roll. That does scare me a little bit because it is hard to keep that consistency going for a long period of time without having an issue.
Yep. And you still have no clue where you're going.
No. I tried to talk myself into it. Hopefully there was a light bulb that came on, but nothing did.
When in doubt, make the homer pick, but
I'm not. Don't do it. Don't do it to me. I'm going to, I'll just, I'll take Chase Elliott.
Wow. Sounds very confident in that pick.
No, but I wish I had three and I would have taken all three, but that's obviously not realistic. But I don't know. I just can't quite bet against the 9 on road courses, man. It's absolutely ridiculous how good he is compared to the rest of the field. So despite Truex's success, I'm going to give the track position edge to Elliott, and Truex has to make that pass on Elliott, which he hasn't been able to do many times in the road coursing history. I'll say that Elliott gets it done. Not
to be that guy, but because I took Hendrick and you didn't, that means that a Chase Elliott win only gets you an extra 5 points as well. So little extra tidbit there. I thought I'd let you know. But it's kind of the same for both sides because
really? You want to go there right now? Honestly,
hey, I'm saying it's the same situation because I'm taking Martin Truex Jr. So I only get the extra 5 points because if he wins, then you get the 10 from JGR and it's only 5 either way. So our nice little winner being 15 points. Well, it's now down to 5 points for that. But Martin Truex Jr., he's won the last two. I don't love him starting in the middle of the pack, but I'm not overly concerned about it because I really do think that Truex is going to play it the same way he has in the past. And maybe in the first stage, he tries to get some points or something like that. But I really do believe he's going to punt on the stage points. Maybe he picks up a couple just because of time differential and picks up a 9th or 10th place finish in a stage. But he's going to punt on the stage points. He's going to get the track position because of that in the caution period, assuming cautions don't come up beforehand, and that kind of screws things up. But it's Sonoma. I don't really see that as being a situation. So I think he'll get the track position by the end of the race. It's whether he can make good on it. And in the past couple of years, he's been able to, with Chase Elliott, the form he's been on, with some of the other challengers now, with Kyle Larson in a better car, William Byron seemingly progressing as a driver as well, and consistency, all that kind of stuff. He's going to have more challengers. But I think he's still the number 2 favorite behind Chase Elliott here. So he's going to be my winner pick.
Would you have taken Chase Elliott if I left him?
Yes. Yeah, he's my number 1.
Okay, so at least that gives me a little bit of consolation at the end of the day. But yeah, I don't know what to expect this weekend. This is an interesting. One. It's an interesting weekend because there's no clear favorite compared to other road courses, I would say, because I think you can go a 50-50 split between Elliott and Truex, and I think Kyle Busch, Larson, and Byron can all be very well in the mix at the end of the day. But
yeah,
I guess we'll go through our lineups once more here, Kyle, to conclude the episode. Do you want to lead this one off? Because you are the victor, basically.
Sure. I'll lead this one off. Well, I've got Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Chris Buescher, Alex Bowman in my lineup, as well as our differences, Martin Truex Jr. and William Byron. For our bonus picks here, I've got Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr. as the top finishers for their respective manufacturers. Chevy and Hendrick going with the duo once again for the manufacturer organization. AJ Allmendinger, I'll say he gets the win out in Mid-Ohio on Saturday, but Martin Truex Jr. will get it done for JGR on Sunday.
If Truex has a banging weekend, I am absolutely screwed. I am screwed. But for my lineup, I'm going with Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Chris Buescher, and Alex Bowman as well. The difference for me, Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano. For the bonus picks, I've gone with the top Chevrolet, Chase Elliott, top Ford, Kevin Harvick, top Toyota, Martin Truex Jr., the winning manufacturer is going to be Chevrolet, winning organization JGR, Xfinity Series winner on the Saturday out there in Ohio. I'm going to go with Justin Allgaier. And then to win it all on Sunday for his second victory of the season, his second in a row on road courses, Chase Elliott. We'll see who comes out on top at the end of this one. But any final thoughts before we wrap up yet another preview episode here, Kyle? I can sense the beaming smile that you have basically from what's happened here with fantasy picks.
Okay, what I'll say is that I'm banking on some good finishes versus stage points, because I think that the people that I picked, or at least the differences, are guys that might punt on the stage points, and that might put me in a bit of a difficult situation if things get a little bit chaotic at the end. But we'll see how things play out there. In that regard, I do like kind of the back pocket of Chris Buescher for some stage points. I'm hoping for a big day from him. He's been good at Sonoma. I hope he makes the playoffs here. And he's in a good point situation. I hope he has a big points day here this weekend. But one thing I will say that is in your favor this weekend, that is a bit of a wild card, is that I'm not going to be able to watch the race on Sunday. So if there's any storylines with the guys in our lineups and whatnot, I'm not going to be able to keep track. I'll keep an eye on it when I can. But on Sunday, I'm getting that first dose vaccine. So I will be unavailable for, I don't know what time of the race, but I'm hoping that it's not the end of stage 2, because that could put me in a real bind if something crazy happens there. But
I'm just going to be texting you the entire time saying Chase Elliott had a problem and I want you to garage him no matter how good he is.
You already know I'm putting you on mute, but
oh no.
But no, all that aside, I can't wait to rewatch the race after knowing the result, and whether it's going to be a happy fantasy day for me or whether I might have to skip over some sad parts.
Well, congratulations on the vax, sir. It's going to be a good Sunday for you nonetheless, even though there is no racing for you for NASCAR side of things. But I think that'll do it for the Sonoma preview. Going to be a fun weekend here. Kyle and myself are going to be going on the Grid Network on Saturday. So kind of when you're watching this, we may be already live on their channel. So make sure you go check their channel out. We'll leave a link to their channel in the description. We're going to be very excited to join them. Our first really collaboration, if you will. But looking forward to discussing all things racing there with NASCAR and Formula One. There over the next couple of days. I'll be on there on Sunday for the race recap, so there won't be any real race recap for this channel. I'll be doing my stuff over there for the Grid Network on that side of things on Sunday. But make sure to go follow us on Instagram at The Green Flag Pod, as well as Twitter at The Green Flag Pod. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. We would really, really appreciate it. We're very, very close to 100 subscribers, so thank you all so much for your support. We really, really appreciate it. But for this episode, I've been Lukas Wacker. He's been Kyle Cushman, signing off for now. Kyle and I will talk to you on the Grid Network's channel to get you kind of previewed for Formula One and add a little bit of tidbits over there. And I will get you recapped on the Grid Network's channel for the NASCAR Cup Series race from Sonoma. Enjoy the racing, everybody.